Hello, I'll be presenting on how to frame the land use related planning by considering the economic based mechanism, allocation based mechanism, and interrelation between spatial allocation and employment interactions. And this land use planning is basically aimed for identifying how the land use forms are configured in a urban area. Then we try to identify how to design the land use. Third is how to analyze the land use. And fourth one is how to evaluate the land use. This is a broad outcome what we expect from the chapter 2 in the land use transport modeling. We call it as a land use and transportation integrated activity planning. The problems lies with the land use plan is like how to make an uniform homogeneous land use system. Suppose if you consider the city area and divide it into micro zones. For example, the city like Hyderabad is having 750 square kilometers of area, and if it is dividing into each one is of the 25 square kilometers, the total city is going to be divided into 30 study areas. In these 30 study areas, we try to develop the homogeneous land use system. The land use planning promoting from the economic based mechanism, from allocation based mechanism, and by locating and reallocating of the land uses are the three common model frames what we have identified in the land use planning. An economic based mechanism is the one where the basic employment will be taken and try to see its impact on the service sectors, the residential colonies, by virtue of considering the distance of separation from the new suggestive basic employment sector like the basic industry. Second is the neighbor areas which are having the residential colonies, service sector shopping centers. People prefer to stay by virtue of the facilities and amenities get available. So by taking these two constraints, one is with reference to distance, second one is with reference to affinity of the residential and social enterprises, we try to develop a economic based mechanism where the people wants to economize their travel interactions, try to be near to the economic potentials where they get the employment to serve the people who are residing, where they get the convenience to work in the basic industries with the minimum spending of the time and the cost and the travel. In the allocation based mechanism, we try to identify the spatial interaction model between the relational mobility between residential and the basic employment, residential and service sector employment, service sector employment and the basic industry. We try to use the different mathematical models developed from the gravity model and identify what are the optimal locations of the residential colonies, service sector enterprises in a land use form. Land use form looks to be a static, the built up area with the roads, with the green bodies, with the vacant places. We call them as a static land use form. When it comes to the dynamic land use form analysis, we input the demographic like the population, the employment, of the basic employees and service employees, and the road network characteristics like the capacity, right of way, like the network distance of separation as input, and try to see how dynamically the static land use form behaves over time and the space. So this is of more important in view of the present situation, like the social distance maintenance, which require essentially to relook how to make the homogeneous, uniform study areas so that the behavior of the traveler is going to be self-content, like control. Second, it should also not stop any economic non-activating system. Third is people should not be in unrest with reference to the social relations. Because of this reason, the study area of the Hyderabad city should be divided into 30 blocks, and the maximum trip length a person should travel will be limited to maximum of 7 kilometers within 25 square kilometers of area. All the social related interventions like the schools, like the hospitals, like the shopping, like the recreation or relational travel, to the extent be confined to this 25 square kilometers area. And the economic based trips may be going to the office, going to the industry, going to any entrepreneur business model, be identified as a separate travel patterns, which should only be permitted beyond this 25 square kilometers area in a notifiable manner, which means that every person who is traveling will be identified and will be recorded that he is traveling for economic interaction at so and so time and come back at so and so time. So in this manner, the land use form of the static and dynamic are going to be taken care with the advanced technologies and with the modeling frame of the spatial interaction models. Second is in the process of the land use design, you need to identify the places where the basic industries are configured, places where the offices are configured, which demands the people to travel beyond the 7 kilometers, beyond from 25 square kilometers area. These we are going to discourage in a course of time, that every person who is working at a particular zone should try to accommodate his stay also near to it. His social interactions should also be near to it. In this way, we try to plan it, and if it is not possible, then we'll try to see the accountability of the road user who is making for economic travel. The challenging at the present time, what we are having is how to connect without paralyzing the other, the three influencing interventions, like maintaining the social distance, maintaining the social relations, maintaining the academic relations. This is important for across the world, how to make these three be made possible in view of certain disasters. So from that point of view, the land use form should be analyzed with the economic based mechanism, allocation based mechanism, and spatial interactive mathematical models. And this helps us to come out with the land use form, how it should be dynamically within the block of 25 square kilometers, how the land use interactive for economic activity should be identified among the study blocks of each 25 square kilometers. This is more important because when we stay at home, we get assumed that we are maintaining the social distance, and no no virus will spread over. But with the interaction on the common areas, we have the obligatory that we should maintain a social distance with the impression that the virus is going to spread upon. So, how to frame the land use patternages with reference to the vehicle, with reference to the pedestrian on a road. And third is like when you interact with the attraction center, like the shopping center, recreation center, or the park, or bus terminals, or any common area, there is an obligatory that we should maintain a social distance. So when we know that the location and allocation modeling for every block maybe of 25 square kilometers area, what are the best optimal locations for the departmental stores of the semi-commercial and commercial and health clinics and the recreation centers and the educational institutes. There should be uniform or unified level of teaching in the institutes, level of the commodities available and the prices in a uniform manner, and the recreation centers be maintained with the sustainable social distance. So in this process, what exactly is required is the existing attraction centers are to be maintained for 24 hours, are to be maintained to the extent of the demand which can accommodate with the minimum time of spending and with the minimum social distance separation of 2 meter when they enter it. So in that way, the demand, practical capacity of social distance, and the floor space required for every non-residential activity should be computed. And if that space is not available for accommodating with the social distance, then we should operate those shops for 24 hours so that the activity can be continuously attended to the people with a sustainable distance. So the land use planning has taken a relook because of this sort of disaster that the land use forms of the dynamic and static should be recomputed, and the principle of deconcentration, dividing the city area into number of unified, homogeneous, productive and attractive centers. This also addresses the reduction in the congestion of traveling on the roads. When the people maximum trip length is confined to 7 kilometers of the dominant members in the family, and only the basic person, one or two who are traveling beyond the 7 kilometers will be recognized. The time of travel will be segregated or clustered so that there will not be any problem with the social distance or congestion or pollution in the study area. In that way, the social, economic, and environment sustainable system can be developed through the land use planning. The methods what we have studied in the Garin Lowry, who has integrated the economic and allocation based mechanism as I told in the previous classes, and also the spatial allocation reallocation of the land use activity for the commercial and semi-commercial within the study area and with other interactive study blocks should be visualized and develop a land use model. The second point what I would like to say in this second chapter is when you are creating the activity modeling that is there in your syllabus and also identifying the spatial allocation and employment interrelationships, we need to identify how to design a land use form. When I say the land use design, it is going to be network connectivity with the road among the cluster of residential activities, service sectors, and the basic sectors. We'll try to plan this by taking one study block as one unit and develop a system there. Then you try to take 2 3 combinations or all the 25 zones in a city like Hyderabad and see how the spatial allocation and employment relationship should be visualized. Because many of the service employees are going to stay at faraway places and travel to the place where they got the demand, where they can get the money, they will travel. So to curtail this sort of mobilities, which affect the environment and economy, environment in the sense the pollution and virus effect, which demands for the social distance, what exactly we require to do is we need to identify how to make these service sector employees be comfortable in their travel. So we need to identify through the land use analysis, through land use surveys, that in every study area, how many people are in the mobility of the travel, how many people are can accommodate or curtail the travel within the 7 kilometers of the maximum trip length. And for the people who need to travel for the livelihood for more than 7 kilometers, a subsidized travel mobilities with high occupancy vehicles over a time slots, maybe 8 hours every slot, keeping initiation of the travel in the beginning of the 8 hour and returning of the employees at the end of the 8th hour. In this manner, most of the travel should be controlled by high occupancy vehicles only, and the travel pattern will be with reference to the time schedules which were defined before that. So in that way, the 2 3 wheeler vehicle mobilities which are not much to the areas beyond 5 kilometer 25 square kilometers area be discouraged, rather discourage their interactions. So the local area traffic mobilities will be with the 2 wheelers, 3 wheelers, and the pedestrian in 25 square kilometers. And any economic based travel will be by the high occupancy vehicles or the private vehicles with the recorded times and with the recorded distances and with the road utility tax and so on. In this way, the modeling frame can be developed by considering the inputs of the social distance, the demand for the travel, and attractive accommodating capacity for the service employees and the basic employees through the activity modeling. So in the land use design, we try to identify within the study area of 25 kilometers how the road network should be connected to attraction centers and residential centers and so on. In that, how much area should be for, how much right of way should be for 2 wheelers like the cycle and motorcycles, and for the pedestrian should be focused basically. And there will be certain trips which travel by buses and private vehicles. They'll be given a lesser priority, and the travel mobilities are going to be monitored continuously along the road so that their travel will be safer and will be with the time as a control. So in that way, in the activity modeling, we try to see how the design forms with the road functionality and the demand for the travel and attraction for the travel. So the maximum walking length we try to keep around 5 kilometers and less than 2 to 3 kilometers, and see how the interactions should be within the area. This sort of land use form and land use design can generate a good result. In the analysis pattern of the land use, we try to identify the interactive models like the doubly constrained gravity model, like single constrained gravity model, like production constrained gravity model, attraction constrained gravity model. So we try to see from every 25 square kilometer area with reference to the located service sector, maybe the shopping or the educational institute, how many trips are going to be expected to that from multiple residential colonies in that area, preferably inside and non-preferably or less preferably from outside. So in that way, the schools and their standard of education will also be unified across the city, the same standards as we see like CBSE, ICSE or state syllabus. We try to come out with similar of the standard. Only one standard of the education, maybe CBSE or ICSE or state syllabus, and make the education potentials are similar at every location. As we see like the departmental stores, the departmental education system, which not limiting to only the tax collection, not limiting only to the school enrollment list, but also the standards and the mobility patterns. A time has come that the land use analysis has given a good importance as a footprint how to maintain environment sustainability, less influenced from the different viruses in the sort of a mobility. So in the land use analysis, we use this production constraint, attraction constraint, doubly constrained, and unconstrained gravity models and identify reallocation and location of the land use activities, which makes a uniform land use systems for each 25 kilometers of the total number of 30 numbers in a city area. And land use evaluation is the third one, where we use how centrographically the concentration, deconcentration, regularity and irregularity, and the saturation and unsaturation. The similarities will be analyzed from every study area and see what are the differentials comparing with one or the other. And if the differentials are minimum or less, then our planning pattern is going to be successful, which can accommodate the natural social distance. When you know that in the common area we have for every 1 square kilometer area we have 10 kilometers of road length, each one is of around 5 meters of the road width. And when you are planning to release the vehicles and the pedestrians, by maintaining the social distance, how much is the capacity that can accommodate per hour? And try to see the generation of the travel patterns from every house, from every service sector, from every basic sector, according to the feasible practical capacity what we design for. This is an area where we are going to use the trained data, probably the artificial intelligence, and by using the computer vision technology to understand the mobilities of the vehicles and the pedestrians over a space and the time, and restrict their mobility patterns so that the natural social distance get existed. So this is one of the planning pattern what you can aim for when you develop the land use planning with a proper evaluation. So by considering this land use form, land use design, land use analysis and land use evaluation, the city areas can be developed ఇక్కడ అయింది ముక్కుగా కూర్చో ఏం కాలేదు ఏం కాలేదు ముఖ్యరా కొంచెం పడతారు తుడి పడు వేస్తాను పడు పడు